Chat GPT. If you don't know what it is, you're probably living under a rock. It's great for things like writing essays and answering questions, but is it good at making games? I'm gonna put it to the test by asking it to make games ranging from easy to hard and seeing how it does. For each of these games, I'm gonna make ChatGPT use a programming language called Python and a library called Pygame. I'm doing this instead of using a game engine like Unity or Unreal Engine. Now, first up, we have Tic-Tac-Toe. This game shouldn't be that hard because there's no moving objects, but we'll just have to see. And if you wanna see me do more cool stuff with AI, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below because I have a lot more coming. I don't have Pygame installed yet, so the first task is to ask ChatGPT how to install it. Now that Pygame's installed, we can get started. It took less than 30 seconds for ChatGPT to give me this code, so let's check if it works. Now when trying to run the code, I got an error that said Pygame wasn't installed, which was weird because I just installed it with ChatGPT. But as it turns out, this was just an error on my part. When I actually went to run the game, I didn't write the command and instead I clicked the play button. Now we have Tic-Tac-Toe on the screen, so let's see if it works. And it seems like the game is working, but the icons are black, so I can't see anything. I've been asking ChatGPT to fix the code that it gave me, and it's being a little difficult. And keep in mind, this is all being done with ChatGPT 3.5. I'm gonna move over to ChatGPT 4 when I start doing the more complex games, but for now, let's see if ChatGPT 3.5 can get this figured out. And now the game is working. It doesn't look too great and the icons are a little misaligned, but the game is functional and it tells you when somebody wins, which is a big plus. So let's go ahead and cross Tic-Tac-Toe off the list. For the next game, we have everyone's favorite childhood game, Pong. As I said, I'm going to start switching over to ChatGPT 4 for these more complex games, and it's going to take a little bit longer to generate the responses, but they should be a lot more accurate and more functional. So I just asked it to make me Pong, and the response is honestly taking forever, so I'll check back in a little bit. After a minute of waiting, I finally got the response. Let's see if ChatGPT got this one right. Oh my gosh, it works. Oh my gosh, I'm actually so impressed. Like I'm playing right now. I'm using my arrow keys and my WASD keys and I'm playing against myself and it actually works. It's actually really cool to play. I'm actually having fun playing this game too. Okay, but I noticed one thing is missing. There's no score, so you don't know who's winning. So I'm gonna ask ChatGPT if it can add score to the game, and then if it can, I think we can cross this one off the list too. Now we have a working score system. It's only been a couple minutes since I started this challenge, and ChatGPT is already doing great. I think we can officially cross Pong off the list. Next up, we have Flappy Bird. I'm sure everybody remembers this game. I know I do. I remember it from when I was in elementary school, and this was the most addicting game I had ever played. And I remember when it got deleted from the App Store, and I was so disappointed. So to be able to play this childhood game again is gonna be pretty cool. I think this is the first area where we're going to start running into some issues. Obviously the game Flappy Bird is pretty simple to play, but the code required to make it is a lot more than simple. ChatGPT just told me that it wouldn't be able to make the game for me, but it would give me some code snippets. So I'm going to see if I can manipulate it to give me the full code, or I'm going to have to Frankenstein this code together. So for this game, I'm actually going to need to give artwork to ChatGPT for it to display on the screen. I thought it would be cool to see if I can get the artwork for the game generated by ChatGPT and Midjourney. So I'm asking ChatGPT to create prompts that I can then give to Midjourney to get the artwork. Honestly, the artwork that Midjourney just gave me was pretty good. I think Midjourney is the best AI image generator out there right now. Props to Chat GPT for the prompts though. I'm gonna have to take some of these images into Photoshop and take the background off of them, but once I do that, I can save the images and we can play the game. Unfortunately, some of the responses that I got from Midjourney aren't going to be usable for a 2D game, like the pipes that it gave me, but what I can do is just make some pipes in Photoshop and we can use those. Okay, so I finally have all the artwork done, and now it's time to see if the game is going to work. I'm not going to lie, I don't really have high hopes for this, but we're just going to have to see. And the game crashed immediately. I was able to see some of the artwork, but looks like it's not gonna work. I do wonder what the issue is, so I'm gonna ask ChatGPT if it can try to fix it, but if it can't find the issue, then that'll just have to be it for this game. It's saying that it left a bug in the game that caused it to automatically end, so if it can fix this, then we'll be able to play. With the new updated code, the game opens and still closes right away, so I don't know if we're gonna be able to play this game. So I think we're gonna have to put an X on that one. Now next up, we have the most beloved game from the 80s, and I'm sure your parents have probably played it. Space Invaders. Now Space Invaders is a game with a lot of levels and a lot of different enemies, so I don't think we're gonna be able to get ChatGPT to make a full game, but maybe I can get it to make just a single level and we'll see how that goes. I think we're gonna run into the same issue. ChatGPT is asking me to give it some artwork, so I'm going to ask it to just use some rudimentary shapes instead of artwork so that I don't have to worry about the game crashing. Now let's check out this code. This is very underwhelming. This is no better than the Tic-Tac-Toe game or Pong. It's basically a box that just moves back and forth and the enemies never come forwards or shoot bullets. Now I could go and get ChatGPT to try to make this game functional, but I think I'm going to give this game an X as well and just leave it there. Now as you can see, ChatGPT is pretty good at making very simple games, especially where you don't need to input anything like images. Maybe in the future there'll be a point where ChatGPT is able to make more complex games, but for now we'll just have to stick to Tic-Tac-Toe and Pong.